Hello, welcome once again to Blackpool. More action coming your way from the Foster's World 8-Ball Pool Championships. Last time, of course, it was the men's team event. This time, it's the ladies' final. I'm delighted to say that with me here in the studio, former semi-finalist Vicky Layton. And Vicky, two new names this year. No Sue, no Emma.
No, two new names, but no stranger on the pool circuit. They are very talented players, these two.
Are you surprised that neither Sue nor Emma made it?
Surprised both didn't make it, but not shocked that these two are in the final. I mean, I sit here every year and say the standard is getting higher and higher, and finally happened, you know.
So the final now is Barbara Taylor against Lynette Horsborgh, and it promises to be a very intriguing match.
It's going to be a brilliant match. I mean, these two have got bags of experience. They've won a handful of titles, European titles, UK titles between them.
Right, there's confirmation of Lynette's road to the final. In the semi-finals, you can see beating Sue Thompson 7-2.
7-2, yeah, I was lucky enough to watch that game. Lynette, well, in Sue's defence, she didn't really get a chance. No. Everything just went Lynette's way. You know, you still have to pot the balls that are put in front of you, but she played brilliant.
So that's Lynette Horsborgh. Let's now see how Barbara made it through to the final. This is her road to the final, where she beat Emma. A little bit tighter match, that 7-6.
Yes, again, I watched that match, and Emma did have a chance in the last frame to beat Barbara, but it wasn't to be, and you know, Barbara has beaten Emma a few times, obviously never in the World Championships, but she'll be really pleased.
Now, the one thing I have to ask you is these girls have not reached this final before. Neither of them have got the experience of this. I suppose it's fairly arduous, isn't it? The lights, the TV, the live audience and so on. Have they got what it takes to join that roll of honour? You know, some great former champions.
I think they have. Depends, obviously, they need to settle. Barbara has played in front of a very large crowd, obviously, to win the UK Championships, European Championships. Lynette comes from a snooker background. Sue
Thompson's name obviously featuring quite a lot there. Lisa Quick going back, but Sue's been there right since the start of the decade, and some terrific players there on that list. So one of these girls is destined to join that roll of honour. It's a fantastic moment for her.
Very much so, yes. They've both, you know, obviously a bit nervous. But again, like I said, they've both got bags full of experience, but how will they handle it in front of the TV lights?
And once you get to this final, you've really got to take the chance, haven't you? I mean, they've done the hard work, but there's still more hard work to do.
Well, of course, you know, there's only ever been 3 or 4 players that have ever won the World Championships. Now one of these two can get their names on it, so it's going to be a really exciting match, and there's a big buzz going around the place today with 2 new names in the final.
Well, we can now hear from both the players. They spoke yesterday to Jim White.
Well, Lynette, you've assured us a brand new champion for 2008, a great 7-2 win over Sue Thompson in the semis.
Yeah, it was fantastic, yeah. I played really well today, so I think it's nice because there'll definitely be a new champion. I think it was getting a bit boring, really, Sue and Emma in the final. So, you know, hopefully one of us will make a really good champion.
There's nothing actually left, team-wise or individual-wise, for me to do, and it's been a bit of a long time coming to some people, but finally we've got to the final, yeah.
A 7-6 win over Emma Cunningham in the semis, and I mean that has to be a real character builder.
Yeah, well, I've actually had 2 6-5s as well in the early rounds, so I've had a few final frame clinchers and good test of character, yeah. So I've come through. Maybe it's my luck's in this year.
I don't really have the tactical brain, probably, so I just have to rely on potting balls. So hopefully I'll be potting tomorrow.
Well, it's going to be a great final. You're up against Barbara Taylor. You fancying it?
I'm just looking forward to playing well and us having a really good final, and, you know, the best player wins.
All the best, Lynette.
Thank you.
Well, both girls seem remarkably fresh and relaxed and fairly confident. Final thoughts from you, Vicky. What do you make of this? How do you think it'll go?
Again, I think who settles first. I mean, with Lynette's snooker background, I think it won't be a problem for her. I mean, she's been in a world snooker final, so I think she'll handle the occasion pretty well. Barbara, again, she's played in front of a big crowd, but not in front of the TV lights, cameras, and with so much pressure. I think it will be Barbara that needs to settle quick in this match, I think.
And right at this moment, both players feeling the nerves?
Definitely, yes. I've spoke to them both, and, you know, they're just going to go out there and enjoy it. I mean, they're both in the world final. They've been looking forward to this day for years, so to finally get there, I think they've got to enjoy it, and, you know, who knows who's going to win at the end?
Who knows, absolutely. Thanks for that, Vicky. More from Vicky later. Right now, though, let's go to the action. Here's our MC, Scott Gallagher.
So, ladies and gents, welcome down here to Blackpool for your 2008 Foster's World 8-Ball Pool Championships. It is now ladies' final time, so please welcome to the arena Lynette Horsborgh and Barbara Taylor!
This is the ladies' final. somewhat unexpected, but fully deserved. Lynette Horsborgh on the left and Barbara Taylor on the right. Two seasoned campaigners, and they're going to be hitting center stage here. The lag, it is a best of 15. First one to 8, and there will be a new name on the ladies' championship trophy this year. And beside me to enjoy all the action, we brought Keith Brewer in from the studio. Keith, welcome, and alongside Sean Taylor. And gentlemen, this is going to be a very, very tough match to call. Sean Baker, Barbara Taylor.
Well, thanks, Jim. Yes, great to be in here for the ladies' final once again. I always enjoy watching the ladies, as we all know. Yeah, should be an interesting one, this. Two new faces to our viewers.
First frame,
but
Barbara Taylor,
very
right.
experienced players as well. So don't think this is going to be a bad final, everybody, because I'll tell you what, this is going to be an absolute cracker.
It's Barbara Taylor having won the lag, so she initiates the breaking sequence. It is an alternating break format. Frame number 1.
I had a little chat with Babs before the match and said about the 8-foot table. She said, well, I've had quite a lot of practice on it in the practice room now. Still wasn't quite sure about 1 or 2 shots, but she said she had seemed to have got the break shot worked out. Quite a few players seem to struggle with that when they move on to the 8-foot table, Keith. But she said she thought she'd worked the break out, so unfortunately she's not been successful in this first frame, though.
Well, it is so vastly different when we come onto the 8-foot surface, as we all know. Even some of the men struggle at this level. So how the two ladies will cope? Well, we hope they cope very well. Certainly with Lynette, we're going to see a very attacking approach. She admitted herself that she isn't the most tactically minded of players. So every opportunity, we're definitely going to see her attack the game.
And certainly she knows she's giving up a little bit of an edge on the larger table because she understands that Lynette came from a snooker background, Keith.
That's quite true, Jim. Yes, Lynette did play a lot of snooker in the past years, and of course now she's firmly playing the pool circuit, and she plays on the ladies' tour as well. So she's quite experienced in the big tournament arena, shall we say.
So important, and they both understand, you know, these early frames. Difficult yellow.
Red ball's in play.
She took it on, so it's red's in play now for Barbara.
I think she took that shot on knowing that she'd got this yellow over the bottom left-hand corner pocket, so she wasn't really leaving anything easy for Babs once she came to the table. And Barbara's now got to probably find a safety shot here somewhere.
20 seconds.
Well, I introduced you as Sean Taylor to start the program. You just called her Babs. Now you're going to have me wondering here, Sean.
Well, that's how Barbara Taylor is affectionately known to all of her friends, supporters.
What a shot. Still plenty of work to do, though.
I think Barbara said in her interview with you there, Jim, that the top of the programme, that she's won just about everything in this game now, apart from this title. I mean, she's been around the scene for many years, been ever present in the England side. I think all the time I've been coming to these championships, which is more than 10 years now. She's been part of that England side that's taken so many world team crowns. She's certainly part of a successful county setup, interleague setup, and won many individual titles as well.
Well, there's nothing like having a world title beside your name. Wouldn't matter if it was in marbles, something to tell the grandchildren.
Well, I know that feeling, Jim. I'm just waiting to get in the over 50s, I think.
I mean, you didn't play in it this year then, Keith?
That's cruel, Sean. That is very cruel. I've got a couple of years yet, mate.
Lynette looks on. She just tried to cover that bottom corner. Concentration will have to be heightened for this one. Looking to take no prisoners, either one of them.
So I think you see Barbara doing most of the attacking. She's generally a very attacking player. Doesn't particularly like to get into the tactical side of the game.
Yeah, Sean, when I spoke to her prior to the interview, her main concern was she didn't want to embarrass herself. She was very worried about going to the larger table, and she knew that it was almost a foregone conclusion to a lot of people that it was a Sue Thompson, Emma Cunningham final, and they were very comfortable because they'd been in so many finals. And for her and Lynette to be there, she was worried that they may not account themselves very well. But I told her, enjoy yourself, Barbara, that's the key. Embrace it.
You say she certainly had the tougher of the routes to the final, if you like, in terms she had a 6-5 win in the last 16 over Michelle Rooney from Northern Ireland, who was actually the number 4 seed. And you say she had that final frame decided with Emma Cunningham, the number 2 seed, in the semi-final. And where's the cue ball going?
Foul. 2 visits.
And that even feathered that yellow away from the pocket a bit more and opens it up for one of Barbara's reds.
Well, it's a great opportunity now for Barbara to come to the table and lay down the early marker by taking this opening frame. I think if Babs can get her confidence up on this bigger table, she knows probably Lynette's slightly favourite, we say, from that snooker background. She can get her confidence going. You could see her run 1 or 2, 3 or 4 frames in the run.
Well, she's got the bigger pocket here, bottom right now, and she's on that red on the right-hand side. She could feather that one in, drop on the red to the center. And Keith, she's going to have this one by the throat.
Well, certainly, when you've got the 2 visits, it does take that little bit of pressure off, doesn't it? And I'm sure they both want to get a frame on the board. It helps settle you down. I think they're kind of, although they both want to win the title badly, I think they're more worried about just putting on a good final for us here and for the crowd, and they do want to, like I said, you didn't want to go out and embarrass yourself slightly. But I think what we've got to remember is that they're both very good, experienced pool players. And all right, we've gone up the surface to the slightly bigger table, but I'm sure they're going to cope well, much better than what they probably think they are.
Early indications would consolidate that theory, Keith, because really, for an opening frame, this has not been terribly scrappy. Still with the 2 visits, and you have to expect Barbara to finish here. That 8 will be available to the right center. To open her account in the final. Well, it slithers in. Thankfully, she would have been snookered. But Barbara Taylor takes the first and leads Lynette Horsborgh 1-0.
Just exactly what Barbara wanted there. Like I say, she's put the early frame on the board. Certainly will have settled any of those early nerves she's probably got, will have.
Still an anxious look, though, Sean, when that 8 was tracking. If it would have stayed on the table, she'd have been in big-time trouble. And the angle that she left on that 8, I think she knew she had to get it because she was going to roll it. But a good win, good confidence-boosting win for Barbara Taylor in the opener. Frame number 3. Barbara backs up and resettles.
Foul.
That will bring Lynette Horsborgh to the table.
Yeah,
1 visit.
Mistake from Barbara there, because that cue ball just spun off the pack straight into the middle pocket. Wasn't kicked in at all. So maybe just those first 2 frames, just put that little bit of adrenaline in the veins, just pumping, and says just give them that little bit too much on that break shot, Keith.
one of the problems, of course, guys, when you put so much power into the break, is you just lose the control, the optimum control that we like to try and keep with the cue ball. And yeah, as you said, the cue ball made its way into the pocket without touching anything else. It does happen from time to time. Of course, it's a chance that Lynette really does need, because she really has a hand on the table yet.
And a chance here. She's got this one red that does pass, and she can just feather the cue ball over and dislodge that one next to the yellow. Just flick it into the open slightly would be ideal. Doesn't want to hit it too hard. She can't get through to a red. She can count herself a little unlucky. And I'm not sure she can get through to that red nearest the corner pocket. Well, she's settling in. She must be able to attack. And every chance now.
Again, I think she said in that interview at the top of the programme with you, Jim, that she doesn't really have a tactical side. So it's, for her, it's just going out and trying to pot the balls.
No, that's what it's about. She comes from a snooker background. In fact, a nice story. Actually, Lynette's 34 years of age right now. I met her when she was about 10. I was taken and introduced to her, and a dear old friend of mine used to own Barracuda Cues, Roger Bucknall, took me to the Commonwealth Club here in Blackpool when I was playing professional snooker. He said, there's a young lady that you have to see play snooker. Lynette was 10 years old. She could barely get above the table at that time. And look what she's become. She's taken her craft now to the smaller surface, and she's a force. But you can see that snooker background in her style. She's textbook, really, with her back arm. And she enjoys this 4x8 surface, a little bigger than most in this 8-ball game. And she's looking very much like pulling one back against Barbara here.
Well, so far, guys, this has been very good pull from both of the girls.
Quality stuff. Lynette Horsborgh, first frame. It's still 2-1 to Barbara Taylor, but it'll be Lynette with the break in frame number 4. Frame number 6. It's a race to 8. Lynette Horsborgh with the break here. And she's won the last 3 frames in a row.
Desperate and unlucky there, as we've seen, the overhead shot. That yellow's just stayed out of the top right-hand corner pocket. Now, great chance here, Keith, for Barbara Taylor to get back to the table quickly after some of the mistakes in the previous frame.
Well, it's a great break, isn't it? And
Yellow ball's in play.
apart from the fact that yellow was over the pocket, it had to be yellows anyway, because they're so well placed.
That was his first go at you.
She's played a very good shot as well, because sometimes when the balls are right in the pockets, you know, they're not always easy to get position off, but she's controlled the cue ball very well for the opening shot. And once she takes this in the opposite corner, she's going to be in prime position.
Yeah, it's an interesting point for some of the viewers out there, particularly some up-and-coming players maybe. You see a lot of times you see players leave the last ball is the one that's right in the jaws. And when they come to try and play position off that, the cue ball reacts off the knuckle and doesn't go in the right direction that they wanted it to. So a lot of the top players, you won't see them leave a ball like that if they can help it until last. Barbara, as you say, certainly played a couple of good shots now in this frame so far.
30 seconds.
Well, we've also seen a little bit of edgy play from Barbara Taylor in this one. So she's got to settle the ship.
You see there Barbara's England teammates, Lisa Conlon on the right, Carly Smith on the left. They're looking on, Sharon Dixon from Wales and in the yellow shirt. She's in the Barbara Taylor corner.
Now, can she get this cue ball up enough to attack that yellow? Doesn't have a lot of angle here. Great shot. And now just roll this through to the middle. She's very measured, isn't she, in her approach? That was the one she needed.
Well, she was trying to drop that in dead weight, but I'm not sure she was quite that close to leaving it short.
Just trying to heighten the drama, Sean. 3-3, nothing to choose. The first 6 frames in the books here. Frame number 7. Lynette Horsborgh 3, Barbara Taylor 3. The race to 8 continues. Barbara at the table.
Open table.
The break has not been an ally to either player.
No, certainly not. So, once again, a nice split, but
Time out.
not finding one. I think Lynette's asked for the rest here. Yeah, she has.
Time running.
Players have to adhere to the 60-second shot clock. They have a warning at 30 seconds. And as you saw, our referee pass Lynette the rest there. Time was out while he was getting the rest, and once she has it.
Yellow ball's in play.
This is a good opportunity here for Lynette. So all the yellow balls are in the open. So she's just seen Barbara Taylor level the match up at 3 frames all. So she can put the pressure back on again here, leaving Barbara in her seat while she takes out this finish.
Well, she may be looking at the plant now. Little choice if she can't see that yellow top end of the table. Imagine what she was like at 10. She was like a pixie. Very good.
She's just weighing up that plant that you indicated, Jim, because she hasn't left herself on anything else here.
30 seconds.
Big shot in this frame.
Good effort.
Yeah, played that very nicely, Jim. It's quite easy when play a plant shot for the other ball to get away.
Once yellow passes, just better than half a pocket. Screws that cue ball up. Top end of the table now. Yellow looks as though it passes bottom right, the one in the middle of the table. She's just having a quick look to confirm that. And certainly this a position of some merit for Lynette. No, it's not wide open, that yellow in the middle of the table, is it? She's had to go to the other corner. Nicely played.
Now it's just a question. Oh, you see there, that yellow does pass the other yellow. It's got to be absolutely precise, this shot. She's going to have to hit it with a little bit of pace to get the cue ball below the black.
Well, I think she'd have preferred to have been dead straight on this shot, but if she just rolls the ball in, she should automatically be on the last yellow. Perfectly played once again. The positional play has been very impressive, actually. You know, considering she's moved up to the bigger surface and that, she hasn't been out of position on most of these finishes.
She won't be delighted with where that ball's finished. She's going to be bridging right over that red, and she is not the tallest lady on tour. Still looks comfortable. And she gets it. A good 8 to take Lynette in front. 4-3 over Barbara Taylor.
Welcome back to Blackpool once again for more action from the Foster's World 8-Ball Pool Championship. We're well into the ladies' final. Vicky Layton's watching the action with me here in the studio. Vicky, I get the impression both players have settled really quite well now after a nervous start.
They have, considering both players were extremely into this final. We were all sort of wondering how they would settle, but it's turning out to be a really good final.
And who's your money on now?
Still a tough one. Like I said, they've both settled well. Lynette has had the last 2 frames, had good chances. So, you know, Barbara's playing brilliant as well. So, you know, it still could go either way.
Thanks very much indeed. Let's see what happens as we see it through to the finish.
The ladies' final here from the Imperial Hotel in Blackpool. Lynette Horsborgh and Barbara Taylor. Lynette on the left, Barbara Taylor on the right. Surprise finalists. Lynette, she accounted for the perennial favorite and champion Sue Thompson. 7-2 in the semifinals. She took out Sue.
Lynette Horsborgh to break. Leading
and
by
Lynette Horsborgh right now just in front of Barbara Taylor. 4-3. It's a race to 8. Best of 15. And with the break in frame number 8 here, she needs a good split. And that was kind of a cut break, if you will. She didn't contact that first ball dead on.
Open table.
But that is also a safe break. Have a look at that one, Sean.
Well, somebody's just shouted from the audience, go on, Babs, knock him in. Well, if you look at this table, I can't see her knocking anything in from here. Because that cue ball is tucked right up against the red as we see the break-off shot again.
Well, she had a go at that one.
Open table.
Raised the back end of her cue, but still an open table. Brings Lynette back. It's been a quality match to this point. And Lynette obviously feeling like her hair was bothering her a little bit. It's now tied back and not down over her shoulders the way it was in the early going.
Open table.
Oh, narrowly misses getting that yellow. Still an open table.
Well, she's given Barbara a chance here. Having taken the last frame to lead by the odd 1. So Barbara really now a good chance here of levelling this match up. Again, just surveying the table.
30 seconds.
Yellow ball's in play.
Just wonder if that just shows a little lack of confidence there, Keith, because I thought she may have taken the yellow into the top left-hand corner pocket. It was obviously the more difficult shot, but she could have left that yellow there as an insurance had she made that one into the top left.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I think it depends how confident you feel, I guess, and it would have been the right shot was to take the one up the rail, because then obviously you had all the yellows over the bottom pockets. But if you're not feeling 100%, she played the right shot, didn't she? She made sure she got on these yellows.
30
There
seconds.
really hasn't been a lot to choose between these two. Barbara, she took the opening 2 frames.
Red ball's in play.
And then Lynette responded by taking the next 3. And since then, they've just split them. And that's where we find ourselves 4-3 to Lynette Horsborgh. And Barbara Taylor trying to grab control of that corner pocket.
Well, she's been around quite a while, Jim, on the pool circuit, and she knows that
Time out.
sometimes if your opponent's potting really well, if you get the opportunity to cover the pocket and just tie that frame up a little bit, that's the move.
Time running.
She's asked for the rest here. I'm not sure whether she's going to play the tactical foul here. Just drop the yellow in.
Yeah, she sure doesn't want to get stuck in the mud with any of these tactical forays, admittedly.
Foul. 2 visits.
And I think that's a mistake, because I think this is a foul snooker. And if
Time
it
out.
is, Barbara Taylor will have the option of having cue ball in hand
Foul snooker.
or nominating one of Lynette's
Time running.
red balls.
And that's our head referee, head of the English Pool Referees Association, Sean Baker. And you know as well as anybody, Sean, that is a big mistake by Lynette Horsborgh.
Yeah, I think she was doing the right thing by playing the tactical foul, but I think she's just trying to maybe just be a little bit too clever at getting that cue ball back up. And saying she's tucked it in right by the red.
And still 2 visits.
Second visit.
Well, now she's got a lot of work to do. She certainly didn't want to have to use that second visit that quickly.
Yeah, because I'm not sure that she can see any of her other yellows.
So in which case she's pleased it didn't actually drop them, because she would have been on total, wouldn't she? So really it wasn't the best of choice of shots there. See, now I'm a little bit surprised at that. That means that she's obviously decided she's going for the out now, because if you've got a ball over the pocket like that, you don't want to pot it unless you are going game. And she's not in ideal position here, Sean, at all. It's a good recovery pot. Very, very good.
Yeah, it is, because I wasn't sure she could actually see that one to the middle, but she could. And so she's come back and just nudged that red out of the way. Just makes this yellow into the bottom right-hand corner. Far easier shot now.
There's still work to do. I mean, this is a tricky yellow into the center. Very small pocket to welcome this yellow, and that cue ball is going to be just tracking over towards that 8. Oh, she's done well. Now just try and draw this. If she can reach this comfortably, she'd like to be able to draw this back out and play that 8 to the left center. She made that look easy, that yellow. She just shot into the side pocket. And she's made this finish look easy. So the mistake, the mental mistake from Lynette Horsborgh gets punished. 4-4.
Horsborgh to break, leading by 5 frames to 4.
A 5-4 lead brings Lynette Horsborgh out of her chair now to split the pack. Straight into the side pocket of red. One of the few occasions we've seen a successful break.
Yeah, nice break there from Lynette. You saw on the overhead. She's just having a look at the table and just deciding what she's going to. I think she's probably going to take yellows here.
Yellow ball's nominated.
You should play this game, Sean. You choose well, don't you? You always go for the easy ones.
I tell you what, Keith, I don't think I've ever picked the wrong suit while I've been sat here in the comms box, but when you see me with a cue in my hand on the Sunday evening in our local league, you'll understand why I'm sat here and not out there in the TV arena.
Why you're the head of the Referees Association.
Exactly. A far better referee than player I'll ever be.
Well, and that with a chance. Yellows all in the open. cue ball just stopped in time. It'd been nicer to get one of those yellows in the middle of the table, but she's got this one over the center. And in an ideal world, good shot. She'd like to leave the yellow nearest the black to last.
It's just looking a little bit ominous here for Barbara Taylor. Certainly cueing very well here, Lynette Horsborgh. Showing none of those early nerves now. She chose to take the tactical route in the last frame, and now she's left with a fairly straightforward finish here to extend her lead 6 frames to 4.
Yeah, she'd like to have been a little straighter on this yellow into the center, because she'd love to have been straight on the last yellow, just stop it dead. And I don't know whether or not she can get on that line. Obviously she can't, because she's looking at that yellow into the same pocket. She's going to be playing this one.
30 seconds.
Well, she just pinched the pocket a little bit there and tried to stay on that line to be as straight as she could on this yellow, and now she doesn't have to do anything with the white. Will be offered, but she needs this yellow.
Superb shot there from Lynette Horsborgh. Now this simple 8 ball to extend the lead.
For the first time in the final, Lynette Horsborgh is 2 frames clear of Barbara Taylor. 6-4 in the race to 8.
Frame 12, Lynette Horsborgh to break, leading by 7 frames to 4.
7-4. Frame number 12, Lynette Horsborgh breaking. She's hoping for the last time in this final.
Made a red.
Red ball potted.
I think red's probably the colour she's going to go for it, because they're all out in the open.
Well, you'll never have a better chance, Sean, I don't think, ever to win a title of this magnitude. She's needing 1 frame to go through, and that's just about the perfect break.
Local last comes good. She's won the last 3 frames to see herself to this match. She's got 1 foot over the finish line already.
Really what she's got to do now is just block out any thoughts of what this will mean to her. You know, she will become the ladies world champion at the end of this frame. But she's just got to block those thoughts out and just treat this as ball by ball, you know, 1 at a time, and forget what the end of the frame will mean to her.
Oh, believe me, Sean, the anxiety has already set in. As soon as she won the last frame to get to this point, sitting in her chair, she's accepted it.
Seconds.
Biggest match of her life. Oh, good shot. She might have just overhit it. She did. Or can she get through to this red? Well, her facial expression tells me no. Just overcued that. It was a great strike, and Well, she's going to have to pull something a little bit more special out.
Yeah, she's got a very fine cut on this ball, left-hand corner pocket. Guo's going to be going round the angles. Just have to trust into a little bit of luck here. Just about perfect.
Sean, I think you can grab your pen. Terrific shot from Lynette. She'll draw over, play the 8 to the same pocket. Oh, she hasn't hit it. She didn't hit it.
I think she was just stretching a little bit on that shot.
Oh,
and she's just not.
You want tension, Sean. You just saw it.
Time running.
The gravity of the situation just overcame Lynette right there on that effort. That was a straightforward positional shot. And from the way she has played to this point in the match, that was elementary. Now she's got to just try and contain. Or is she going to try and double? Top corner. Watch the top right corner pocket. Oh, just about knocked it in. But she played it. It was full throttle.
Yellow ball's in play.
A last gasp for Barbara Taylor. And will she remember that?
She knows that was a fantastic opportunity to take this frame and the match and become the world champion. And that is a very, very careless shot from Barbara Taylor.
Still, I don't know exactly what she's going to do with this black. Barbara's grinning, but that's an outward grin. Believe me, inside she's not happy. Keith, she heard you. Just get it in the middle. Keep it available. A little closer to the yellow, I think, than she would have liked. But I think anywhere where it's in the open just keeps Barbara under pressure, and I don't think Barbara can handle it. I don't think she's nearly as well equipped to handle the pressure as is Lynette.
All Barbara could have hoped to do was to lay the snooker and maybe try and extract 2 visits, but I don't think she's done it.
Does she see something else?
I just wonder if it goes top left as we look, Jim. She was just looking at the path. No, I don't think it does now. We've seen that shot.
It's going to be a thin cut to the top right corner as we look, and she'll have to dig into the cue ball. Oh, second time it's threatened that corner. And Lynette, she's millimeters away from being the world champion on 2 occasions. Barbara she just can't seem to get a ball down. Grinning, how many chances is Horsborgh going to get to put the ribbon on this package?
There is a danger here, I think. If she tries to cut this in, there is an in-off, I believe. Whether she can avoid that, we shall find out.
It's there!
The cue ball's down as
well.
She loses the frame, just as you suggested there, Keith.
Would you believe it? Talk about a twist in the tail, even Barbara Taylor. 7-5, and Barbara is still alive. Unbelievable turn of events here in Blackpool.
Frame 13, Barbara Taylor to break, trailing by 7 frames to 5.
And Barbara Taylor with the break. Frame number 13. We didn't think it was going to go this far, but Barbara still alive. 7-5 to Lynette Horsborgh and a ball down off the break.
Red ball potted.
Another red hanging right over that middle pocket. You saw there, she wasn't even sure of which ball she wanted to go for there, Keith.
Yellow ball's in
She's
play.
changed her mind and got down very quickly there.
Which happens to us sometimes, especially when you're in the 30 seconds. You haven't really made your mind up and then you realise you've got to play a shot. I don't think she had a lot of choice really but to go on the reds, and you know, I suppose that she is struggling a little bit, and maybe the tactical way is the way to go. I think Lynette's shown us all enough that she's well capable of clearing up from just about anywhere. It was just such a dangerous black, the frame before. I could see it a mile away. I kind of thinking, oh, we've got to be careful here, and unfortunately it does happen in this sport. One of the few ones where you sat in your chair and you can still win a frame.
Well, she knows the way she's playing. She's going to get another chance in this. She has to believe that. Awkward red on the left-hand side.
Well, it was interesting. I was talking to Barbara before this match, and she said she was quite comfortable with the practice table, apart from one shot, and it was the double. She could not get them right, and she's got that right, and she's given herself now a superb opportunity to reduce the deficit to just one frame. As we see the double, did say to Olaf, don't play the double then if you can't see the shot. She had no choice there.
I'll bet Lynette Horsborgh wishes she would have covered that pocket with the yellow. This is a gilt-edged opportunity for Barbara Taylor, and
I think she's changed her mind there. She did want to play the left on one of these two reds. She didn't feel she could reach it. It's that yellow that was hampering her. And now she's snookered on that red. And whether she can pot the one over the middle, it's extremely thin cut there, Keith. And she'll be trying to send the cue ball around the angles and then drop on this last red.
And I feel really if she doesn't make the finish here, then Lynette's going to secure the bottom pocket where the black is, and that will virtually be it.
30 seconds.
So I feel she's got to give it a go. Very good pot.
Had a little bit of luck there, double kissing the yellow, and just fetched the cue ball a little bit further away from the cushion than it would have been. Somehow I think she's got to slow roll this last ball in to finish on that black. Maybe even use the yellow as a bump here. Stop it.
great shot. Kept her head still. Oh, can she get this 8? Can she see enough of it from this angle?
That yellow is tight with the black.
No, I don't think she could see enough to pocket it, and she feels like she's played a pretty good shot there, but I'm not so sure. So many options for Lynette here.
Well, I think what's important here is if there's a gap, is there a gap where the black is in the pocket? Even if it's just a small gap, she may be able just to nestle the yellow ball in there. She's having a real good look. When the ball's in the pocket, you see, if it isn't actually touching the cushion, then it will come out easier. So she's had a good look to see what it's... Yeah, it's a nice shot, actually. Very well controlled with the cue ball.
And what she's done there is move one of those yellows out. She's not really left Barbara with a shot here. Barbara's just going to... This is an extremely dangerous shot. Look, she just...
Foul.
Nudge the yellow into the black.
Well, Keith, if there was any doubt about that yellow squeezing past the black, it's gone now.
So this is a big shot coming up now. And it's there. Now, obviously, she can afford to waste one of these shots when she brings the yellow out that's right next to the black ball. So It's just a matter of getting the cue ball in the perfect position, because all the other yellows are there nicely.
Oh, she's miscued. She was trying to play extreme topspin. She's miscued, and the second visit is now in. Well, thank heavens for second visits. And now she has to try and lock Barbara up again. No choice, because she has to hold that second visit to free that yellow near the black.
Right, a containing shot there, Lynette.
She had a couple options where to leave that cue ball, and she's obviously looked to try and use the yellow in the middle of the table to take the angle away.
Foul. 2 visits.
I think Barbara's pointing at the cushion there. She felt that that ball just didn't come off the cushion like she wanted it to do. I think she probably wanted that yellow at least another couple of feet down the table. Probably just feels it's died on the cushion.
Well, it's another chance, but it's not an easy one. I'm sure Lynette will have a go, though, Jim.
Can she leave an angle on the red, or sorry, the yellow? Well, so much for that idea. I thought she might try and leave an angle on the yellow she's shooting, or the one nearest the top left corner, to try and move the yellow nearest the middle pocket.
What she could do now, she could move that ball and then just play the one up the table. Double that one across the table and then play the other one back up the table, making sure that Barbara can't see that black again. And she's removed one more of her yellow balls.
Yeah, and by taking that, every yellow she takes off the table, I don't agree with this. And it hasn't worked in her favor.
Second visit.
No, because I think now that yellow's out the way, if she leaves the snooker up the table, she's going to leave a path maybe for that cue ball to get down at the black. I mean, there is a yellow just to the right and up from the black, but may just be guarding it a little bit.
Time out. Ball not touching the cushion.
What about
time running?
What about slamming the double in on the yellow on the left-hand side, holding the cue ball for position, the yellow bottom right?
Yeah, but knowing that if you miss,
yeah,
it'll then go 7-6 in the World Final, Jim.
I just thought I'd throw it out there.
It is a very feasible option, to be fair, but I think Lynette is looking at the safety option. One thing she could do, she comes cushion first. Well, she's not playing it that way. She's got to be careful, because if she gets a double kiss, this might not go right. She cannot afford to leave a scene. That's a good shot. That's not too bad at all, that. What she could have done was come off the side cushion first and hit the yellow, and that way it would have stopped her coming across the table. I'm not sure that she's prevented that with this shot. So if Barbara feels brave enough here, we may see her have a little go. Because you can't hang back forever. Sooner or later, if she keeps giving her 2, she's going to clear up.
Yeah, do you think Lynette, though, is still dwelling on the preceding frame?
30 seconds.
Not the shot for me, this guy,
Foul.
I'm afraid. She's left her the first pot in the middle anyway. So this is a great opportunity for Lynette now to win the match. Couldn't understand the shot. If she's going to play a safety, surely play the yellow down to the black. But this has just left her a very easy opening shot here, which she's made.
Now she left the angle here, take this bottom right and come up and get in behind that yellow.
Well, I think what's crucial here is just to make the pot. Lynette, just concentrate on the pot, surely. Well, that's the danger, of course. You took your eye off the pot, you've got
Second
the
visit.
cannon, but the rest of it's gone wrong.
And now she's got to knock this one in. And no more insurance policy, no more room for mistakes now. She's going to knock this in and leave an angle, even should she get it. Seven, 6. Barbara will deposit the 8. And Lynette, I think, still thinking about what could have been. 7-6 confirmed now. It's 2 in a row for Barbara. And it is heating up in Blackpool.
Well, she's just had a little look over at Lynette. I think she might even just had a little word and said, you know.
I think she feels bad for her. I think, you know, she was right in line with that 8 ball that Lynette made in the 12th frame. Probably was halfway out of her chair to go congratulate her, and then the cue ball disappeared.
And the thing is, that's the kind of player Barbara Taylor is.
Yeah, but no time for sympathy cards.
No.
Sean, in fairness. You know, you're in the final of the Ladies World Championship. The last thing you want to do, I mean, you know, you want to kick your opponent when they're down.
And like you say, we're just telling
Frame
Barbara
14,
to stay focused.
Lynette Horsborgh to break, leading by 7 frames to 6.
Frame 14 of a possible 15, 7-6. So many matches have gone right down to the wire in the ladies' final. Yet another teaser. The ladies' finals just never disappoint, do they? And a ball down for Lynette, but neither suit easy here.
Well, actually, potting one of each off the break means whatever she nominates she's going to be on. So what she could do, she's really brave. She could nominate yellows, pop the one next to the black, screw across and try and move the bad yellow first shot.
Yellow ball's in play.
If she gets it, they're all there. Okay, she's not going my way, but we're definitely going to have the yellows.
I'm just wondering now, has she left herself an angle? Pop this one in the right-hand middle and run through. Just disturb that red and yellow.
Yeah, after she shot that. Nice one.
Don't really think the angle's there, Sean, for that. I'll tell you another option. See the yellow next to the black, plays that far into the top pocket, try and leave an angle. No, we're going the other way.
And that's certainly what she's eyeing up. You know, one thing that we've seen is Barbara Taylor. I'm not sure. You know, 6 reds left on the table. You know, Barbara has given us no real confidence that she could get up and dish up the 6 remaining reds anyway. So it's so risky. Oh,
Yellows have gone in.
Yeah, she didn't want that. She's lost the cue ball anyway. If she was trying to hold the cue ball for the double, she overcooked it by some degree, but she's going to have to draw this back now.
She's trying to hold her hand out there to stop that cue ball. It's not worked.
Yeah.
You say the only shot she has got now is this double.
Yeah, but you know what? Where she's played this, she should be able to get the cue ball out of the way. She can dig into it and draw top table and between the reds. I'd be hitting this one firm, maybe even a treble. Oh, she's kicked the red though. She's kissed the red. Otherwise, she'd have been closer. She's already seen a couple blacks for the title. None tougher than this one. And she's got a little bigger pocket with that red there. very difficult.
Red ball's in
Again,
play.
for a world championship, you know, that looked tough from the commentary box.
No, it was just incredible, really. She could have just rolled that. And just, I mean, like you say, the red there, it's such a big pocket. It's all it needed. Barbara Taylor's still got to find a good shot here.
Well, that's not it, Sean, I'm afraid, because firstly, I think it cuts back in, but it certainly doubles back across. She's got a few options here. I do think, though, the shot before, guys, like Sean just said, yeah, I think we should have just played that black a bit slower, and it rattles in the pocket. You're still odds-on favourite to win the frame.
No, because like I said, I really don't, I don't think Barbara could have cleaned up the 6 reds anyway.
20 seconds.
But now, you know, she's almost forcing Lynette to get that 8 ball away from that corner pocket. Possible double. Is it there? Oh, so close again.
How many chances is Lynette Horsborgh going to have before she takes this 8th frame that she needs to secure the title?
If she can just hold herself together.
Yeah, that's a big if, Keith. I mean, you play your whole life for this situation, don't you? But are you really prepared for it?
What do you always say about pressure, Jim? And she's missed it.
Second prize, though, of course, got the pocket.
And I'd be playing this one at the speed to drop it right. Oh, she's looking at the double into the middle. I'd have been playing it into the corner. If it didn't go in, I'd leave it right over the pocket.
30 seconds.
Yeah,
I must admit, sorry, Sean, I was just going to say, I must admit, I fancy that shot myself.
Yeah, she's just looking at it now as well. She's just pointing on the side rail.
Yeah, but Lynette's mom, she can't watch. She's seen enough. In or over the pocket, that's what she needs. Oh, not hard enough. Not hard enough. But she's blocked the pocket for the red. He's just a little bit harder, and that would have been a bit more useful. You want the picture of a player who's suffering right now. You know, just take a look at Lynette Horsborgh. She really is suffering.
Well, the thing was there, if she managed to get the black right over the pocket, it was virtually a frame winner, wasn't it?
I think she'd do well to hit it.
Foul. 2 visits.
2 visits. And she's going to want to save that second visit. Lynette, you've had 3 looks now at the world title.
And the thing is, she's had a little bit of luck there as well, because cue ball could quite easily have missed that red, and it'd been a far easier start here for Barbara Taylor. As it is, she's looking to take this long plant on, which she's got, and now she's got the opportunity to move this red out, waste one of her visits.
I'd be doing that right now.
Yeah. I think what she's got to do is get the cue ball back up the table here, because that red's right over the corner pocket now. That's the ball she uses to get on the black. Wow,
That wouldn't have been my choice.
well, she certainly played that
Second visit.
far harder than I thought. I say I'd have preferred to have seen the cue ball back up in the balk area.
I would
A
have
lot
rolled
closer to this
I
work.
would have rolled the red towards the other red over the pocket. The natural path would have taken the cue ball up for the 2 reds top of the table.
It just shows we're now in frame 14, the best of 15 frame match. This World Ladies Final, Foster's World 8-Ball Pool Championships, and the pressure is mounting.
She's lost
Where
the
is the
white.
cue ball going? Where is the cue ball going?
Well, that's just adrenaline, isn't it? Nothing else.
Pressure, Keith. Pure and simple.
Still plenty of safety options here. Doesn't have to go for the, you know, the death shot into the middle. She can still play a good safety. Well, very surprised.
She's gone for it, and it could well cost her the title. This 8 for Lynette Horsborgh. Just take an extra second and cue it well. No mistakes this time. The young lady from Blackpool, Lynette Horsborgh, 34 years of age, an 8-6 winner. She wins the world title, and Lynette Horsborgh is the Foster's World 8-Ball Champion of the ladies. All hail the champ, Lynette. This is your time.
So, what a fantastic final. Jim is now going to talk to both finalists.
Well, we're here with just an unbelievable final. You want high drama? We can deliver. And Barbara Taylor, you threw everything at that young lady but the kitchen sink. And in the end, it just didn't prove to be enough, did it?
In the end, I think I wasn't good enough. I thought I had my chances and I didn't take them. Simple as that. Lynette played really well, though. Some of the clearances she had were great, yeah.
Yeah, fair play, fair play. Now, I have to ask you, Barbara, you were right in line with that one shot. It was frame number 12. Lynette potted the 8 into this pocket. You were probably getting ready to shake her hand, and then the cue ball disappeared. How did that feel?
It's hard to say that you're not happy, because obviously you're thinking, oh, well, I haven't lost yet. But to be honest with you, you have a hint of, I was unlucky. I think she knew it was sort of going to be close, but she had to have a go at it, you know. So it's difficult, but it's part of the game, isn't it?
Yeah, well, for me, you're just too nice. That's the bottom line. Well done, well done. Congratulations. Well, I've known this young lady over 20 years, and they told me then she was going to be a champion. They were right. You're the champion of the world, Lynette. How does it feel?
Amazing. I'm still shaking, though. I can't believe that last frame. So, wow.
And as far as Barbara's concerned, you knew it was going to be a tough final, didn't you?
Oh, it should have been a decider there, and then I'd have had to go to the toilet. I'd have had to calm down. Yeah.
But would you have come back?
I don't know. The way I was playing in the last couple, I was just lashing out, just hoping for a flute, really. But it should have been a decider, but... Wow.
You both showed tremendous heart. Absolutely. I mean, it was a final that we're going to remember here in Blackpool for many, many years to come, believe me. But in fairness, you played so strong in the middle going in that final. You really put her under a lot of pressure, Lynette.
Yeah, I played well. I really thought it was going to go. We were just going to like win off each other's breaks. But I'm just so glad my nerves didn't have to go through a decider. I'd have been in bits.
Well, folks, local girl comes good. Lynette Horsborgh from Blackpool. All hail the Foster's Ladies World 8-Ball Champion.
Ladies and gents, please welcome your presentation party. Tournament Director Alan Benton, and from Scottish and Newcastle, UK, Dave Murray. First of all, a big, big round of applause for your runner-up in this year's tournament. Ladies and gents, Barbara Taylor. Ladies and gents, your 2008 Foster's World 8-Ball Pool Champion, Lynette Horsborgh.
So, Lynette, a deserving new champion here at Blackpool. Vicky Layton's been watching me. Terrific stuff in the end, wasn't it?
Oh, it was a brilliant match. You know, Lynette did deserve to win in the end. She did do her best to try and throw it away, but I think Barbara will take a lot from this game. You know, coming into next year's World Championship, I think she'll be full of confidence. You know, she's been out there, she's played under the pressure. So yeah, it was a great final.
It was hard for both girls really, because it was the big stage for both of them the first time round, and they've done really pretty well. All right, one or two mistakes, but you'd expect that.
It's
maybe.
understandable. I mean, at the start of the match, I mean, it was a great standard, but towards the end, when Lynette knew she had the you know, the World Championships in her sight, that's when the nerves crept in. Barbara, I think, thought that she'd lost, but she kept getting these chances and kept getting back to the table and just couldn't quite put it together when she needed to.
So Lynette here to stay, the champion maybe, defending successfully. Who knows, this could be the start of a new reign.
Well, why not? I mean, it's just showed that there's not just two players in the world, because as we know, Sue and Emma have been in the final for the last few years, and to have two new players to play at that standard that they've just played is a credit to all the ladies.
Vicky, thanks very much indeed for that. So it's well done to Lynette. Just to remind you before we go, we're back very soon with action from the men's quarter-finals. Whatever you do, don't miss that. We'll see you next time.